And what you do to fail to, it shows that you are not the person.
This one is off.
Signed copy.
Being the text of press statement by Southeast Youth Vanguard for good governance, calling on President Bola Amhed Tinubu to take urgent action on our demand for the immediate sack of Mr. Farouk Amhed, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority for alleged grand and administrative corruption. Today, Monday, 29th, 2024, at NUJ House, Oka. Dear Southeast youths, gentlemen of the press and the general public, the ongoing fuel scarcity across several states in Nigeria continues to impose severe hardships on ordinary citizens, exacerbating the already high cost of living. This crisis has raised serious questions about the transparency in the management of the local oil production by the Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, which has led to a significant increase in the cost of transportation, affecting livelihoods of Nigerians, particularly those in low-income brackets. Households, medium and small enterprises alike are also facing high running costs as a result of grand corruption allegedly perpetrated by the midstream and downstream sector, making it increasingly difficult for ordinary citizens to meet their basic needs. It is unacceptable that the so-called largest oil producer and exporter of the continent has continued to grapple with fuel scarcity due to a combination of factors, including inadequate refinery capacity, continuous pipeline vandalism, inadequate infrastructure, grand and administrative corruption. These challenges have persisted for decades, and one expects that the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration will address the perennial crisis. It is with severe rage in our hearts that we address you today on behalf of the good people of this country, particularly the unemployed, underemployed, and suffering masses of our people. The open sabotage of local oil production in Nigeria by the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Mr. Farouk Amhed, led by Mr. Farouk Amhed, his crimes must not go unpunished. His alleged crimes must not go unpunished. Dealing with the malice of corruption in the oil and gas sector may appear complex and intractable when the management lacks transparency and accountability in managing the affairs of all oil business activities in Nigeria, ranging from seismic survey to development to production to transportation, refining and marketing. No wonder recent revelation shows that there is an abuse of administrative office to extract illegal benefits in exchange for approval covering a range of commercial and operational activities. Also, the direct theft of massive amounts of money through diversion of production, products or revenues allegedly perpetrated by Mr. Farouk Amhed are largely responsible for the stunted economic growth of the country and for the mass poverty that reigns in the country. It is therefore suggested that Mr. Farouk Amhed and all culprits in any form in the Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority should immediately be investigated, dismissed, and if found guilty, imprisoned, as this will serve as deterrent to others and and the issue of plea bargain should not be allowed or permitted in any form. You can imagine the criminal and immoral audacity with which this man attacked the globally celebrated efforts of Dangote Group in building one of the best refineries in the world. He shamefully could not contain his averseness and unpatriotic opposition to an era of local refining. He saw the compelling need and therefore shamefully took it upon himself to demarket the products of Dangote Refinery. Southeast Youth Vanguard for Good Governance and indeed Nigerians of Goodwill are for once united against the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, and our demand is that he must be investigated and be dismissed. If not, the proposed national protest, which some of us have been working so hard to stop, may actually start from there. We cannot be a country in which an open evil will triumph over good. What no one ever imagined was that the managing director and the chief executive officer of the Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority would become the practical leader and the face of these groups. Nigerians must act decisively to dismantle this influence or risk subjugated indefinitely. We are leading this struggle on behalf of Southeast youths, who are the most directly endangered by this sinister enterprise. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has demonstrated its disdain for the establishment of local oil production. In doing so, it has overstepped its regulatory bounds, going as far as to determine the products of our own indigenous Dangote refinery. This is a blatant act of national economic sabotage that must be defeated, and this is why his immediate dismissal and investigation has become inevitable. We therefore call on Mr. President to take urgent action now. While addressing the negative impact of certain individuals and cartels, it is crucial to also highlight and celebrate the positive contributions that indigenous transformative projects can bring to our nation. The Dangote Group, under the visionary leadership of Aliko Dangote, has continually set benchmarks for economic and industrial growth in Nigeria and Africa at large. With diversified interests spanning from cement, sugar, salt, and pasta production, the group has significantly contributed to job creation, infrastructural development, and national revenue generation. Among its most ambitious project is the Dangote Refinery, which stands as an embodiment of hope for Nigeria's energy sector and economic sovereignty and self-sufficiency. The Dangote Refinery is poised to transform Nigeria from a net importer to a net exporter of refined petroleum products. This shift will drastically reduce the nation's dependency on imported fuels, saving billions of dollars annually in foreign exchange. By harnessing local crude oil resources, the refinery will ensure a stable and self-sufficient energy supply, thereby strengthening national security and economic resilience. The construction and operation of the Dangote Refinery have already created thousands of jobs for Nigerian engineers, technicians, and laborers. As the refinery becomes fully operational, it will generate even more employment opportunities, both directly and indirectly, across the entire value chain. This massive job creation will alleviate unemployment and foster skill development among the youth, thereby uplifting communities and enhancing the overall standard of living. The refinery will serve as a stimulus for industrialization and economic diversification. By providing a steady and affordable supply of refined petroleum products, it will support the growth of various industries, including petrochemicals, plastics, textiles, and manufacturing. This diversification will reduce the economy's vulnerability to oil price shocks and create a more balanced and resilient economic structure. Furthermore, The success of the Dangote refinery is a demonstration of Nigeria's potential as a viable investment destination. It will inspire confidence among foreign investors and multinationals, attracting additional foreign direct investments into the country. This influx of capital will spur further economic development, modernize infrastructure, and improve the overall investment climate. By refining petroleum products locally also, Nigeria can ensure a more reliable and secure energy supply, reducing the risk associated with global supply chain disruptions. In addition, the Dangote refinery's state-of-the-art technology is designed to meet stringent environmental standards, minimizing emissions and contributing to a cleaner and more sustainable energy sector. We therefore call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, dismiss Mr. Farouk Amhed, the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority over this alleged corruption in order to remove his malignant influence on our economy. As we await Mr. President's urgent response, we urge Southeast youths and Nigerian youths at large to be on alert and remain resilient. If you close your eyes to the facts, you will learn through accident. This is an African proverb. That to struggle, that to win. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless us all.
If this man cannot allow the progress that Dangote is bringing in Nigeria to survive, that means he's the one leading the protest. So we'll call on the president to, as a matter of urgency, sack this man before things get out of hand. He will not hold us responsible if things get out of hand. People are suffering because this man is sabotaging the effort of Mr. President. And we say he must go so that Dangote, with his goodwill, can benefit us and benefit Nigerians at large. Thank you very much.